Well, hey there everyone. I hope that you're doing well today. I'm coming at you with two crazy eye looks in collaboration with my friend Maggie's Makeup Medley here on YouTube and on Instagram. I reached out about like a collaboration and she said she was happy to, and we decided that we were going to like dupe the same palette and see like our different interpretations of it. So we decided on the Ace Beaute Flair palette. I have been like really curious about Ace Beaute ever since they reformulated. I've seen like Amy Loves Makeup do a video on them, and Angelica Nyquist and a bunch of other people, and it looks amazing. And so I've definitely been feeling tempted, and I was really glad when Maggie suggested that we dupe this palette. I'm really grateful to Maggie that she wanted to collaborate with me too. I absolutely love her channel. She is like a little bit sarcastic in like the best possible way, and I just really think she has like really inventive video ideas that I don't really see anyone else doing. She does some palette dupes sometimes. She has some great like makeup commentary where she just kind of like talks about different makeup stuff, and I just really enjoy her channel. I totally think you will too, so be sure to go check her out. And if you want to see how I got the eye looks that I'm wearing right now and the palette that I created, then go ahead and just keep on watching. Well, hello and welcome to Overhead Mode. So this is my beautiful Ace Beaute Flair dupe palette, and you can see I was swatching it earlier, and some of the shades definitely did stain, but I'm gonna go ahead, swatch all of these out for you, explain why I picked them, and tell you what these shades actually are. So this first one is a depotted BH shadow, and I have a few reds, but this one I chose because I thought it leaned the most orange out of all of my reds. Next up, we have this beautiful like cranberry metallic shade from a depotted Juvia's Place palette. And to be honest, I chose this one because it is my only shade remotely close to this color. Next up is another depotted BH shadow from that same palette. And I thought this one was like the perfect mix of like the pinky and like purpley color of the shadow in the Ace Beaute palette, so that's why I chose this one. Next up, we've got this shadow depotted from ABH, and I was caught between this one and one that was a little bit more purple, but in the actual swatches, I felt like it looked a little bit more neutral and less purple, a little more like a taupe, and so that is why this made it into the palette. This is recently depotted from the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette. Honestly, as soon as I saw the pictures of the swatches on Ace Beaute's website, I was like, oh my god, this is like the perfect shade. Next up is the Single Shadow Paper Tiger by ColourPop, and I thought that this was a really nice yellow because it kind of has like a touch of orange to it, which definitely was giving me similar vibes to the Ace Beaute palette. Next up is this depotted Beauty Bay shadow, and if you know, this isn't my favorite metallic formula, but this was definitely the closest in color because it's that bright orange with a little bit of a gold shift to it. I feel like out of everything, this ColourPop depotted shade is the least like the Ace Beaute palette, but it's my brightest orange, and it was the most different from the other like oranges and reds in the palette, so that's how it made its way in here. Next up, we've got like one of my favorite types of shades, which is again depotted from ColourPop, and it's like this really nice like pumpkin spice kind of orange. Next up, I thought that this was like the best brown that I had in comparison to the Ace Beaute one. It's kind of a little bit cool in one of my deepest browns. Now, this one is another one that I feel like isn't exact. This is the shade Bermuda from Copacetic Cosmetics, and I don't have a ton of blue, and I thought that this was like a light blue with that gold shift, and based on the swatches in the pan, I thought that this was the closest I had to that Ace Beaute palette. Now, the blues I was a little unsure about. This one is from that Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette, and I feel like it may be a little too light, but honestly I wasn't sure, so I decided to go off of the pans for this one rather than like the swatches. Next up, we have a depotted shade from the Subculture palette, and this one I felt definitely needed to go in this palette. These last two greens are both from Terra Moon, and I really like the Terra Moon mattes. I feel like they're really pigmented. They're a little powdery though. The darker green is Mi Gente and the lighter green is Shire. So here is the whole palette all together, and I gotta say, I'll pop up the actual swatches, but let me know. I feel like this actually turned out pretty similar to the palette. Now, onto the eye look. All right, let's go ahead and get started on these looks, and like normal, I'm gonna do two different looks, one on each side. I'm thinking that for the first one, I kind of wanna go like blue and red, kind of like Muerte palette vibes, and then on the other eye I'm thinking like yellow and orange and a little bit of green, like a little bit more of a like fall palette vibe. So let's go ahead and start with the blue and red eye. I'm just gonna start by taking this like kind of like taupey mauve shade and putting that in my crease. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this blue shade and start putting that a little bit lower in my crease, like towards the inner to like center part of my crease. All right, so now that I've got that blue kind of blended out to a place I'm happy with, I'm gonna take another small like blending brush and I'm gonna start doing the red, connecting to the blue, going all the way to the outer corner. And by red, I don't mean this red. I mean like this like more like plummy pink color. I don't know why I just called that red, but that's the color that we're going to do. All right, I love the way that those blended into each other to make this like really pretty purple. It's definitely giving me like jewel toned Spider-Man vibes, which may be appropriate considering the new trailer came out. I'm so excited, but I'm also really loving how this eye looks going. So now I'm thinking that we're gonna stick with the blue and red and put blue, like this like metallic blue from Copacetic in the front, and then this like maroon shade in the back. All right, I feel like that also turned out really pretty. I'm really liking it. It's cool, like with the blue and the red shimmers, it kind of turned like a gray toned purple almost. It's really interesting. But for now, I think, let me find a brush. I think that I'm going to go ahead and just do this like deeper blue on the waterline underneath my eyes. I'm kind of loving that. I'm loving that. I do feel like I need a little something on the inner part just because it's such a dramatic look. So I think I'm gonna go back into like this mauve color and put that on like the inner portion of my waterline. Okay, last thing, I'm gonna take this like pinky gold and I'm gonna use that as my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight. feel like the sparkly beautifulness of that shade just made this like a New Year's Eve party type of look. I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and do the second eye, which again is going to be more like orange and green. And I'm thinking that for this eye, I kind of want to take this Paper Tiger shade from ColourPop and do the same thing I did with the mauve shade that like you can't even see anymore, and just kind of put it a little bit above like where my crease kind of naturally falls. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and just take like a pointed blending brush, and I'm going to take this like deeper orange and start working that lower into the crease. So far so good. Now we're gonna go a little crazy with it, and I think I'm gonna take this like dark green shade, Mi Gente from Terra Moon, and I'm going to put that in like the outer corner. I'm gonna be careful though not to over blend this, because I do know like orange and green, not naturally kind of like complementary colors, so we don't want it to turn muddy at all. I'm gonna take this orange shimmer from Beauty Bay, and I'm just gonna put that like all over the lid. I'm just gonna add a little bit more of that orange to the crease. Then I'm gonna take that green, and I'm just going to kind of go over it a little bit and try to like blend it with that orange a little bit more. Alright, I've got that blended to a place I'm happy with, and I'm just going to take a smudger brush, and I'm going to take the Shire from Terra Moons, and I'm just going to run that underneath my like lower lash line. I feel like that really tied it together, and I'm just gonna take the same light shade since it's really only like the only light shade in the palette, and I'm gonna use that again as my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight, and oh my gosh, it is so sparkly and beautiful, holy goodness. All right, let me go put on some mascara, and I will be right back. All right, I am back with mascara, and I have to say I really like both eye looks. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer, and if you want to, you can see close-ups of both of these eye looks on my Instagram, which is linked in the description. When you're in the description, be sure to check out Maggie's channel. She makes awesome videos, like I said in the intro, and she's definitely worth checking out. I also am really excited to see her interpretation of the Ace Beaute Flair palette, and let me know, who do you feel like had the more accurate Flair palette down in the comments as well. And until I see you next time, I hope that you stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye!